What are we laughing at? Coming up 1 minute after the hour. We're a minute late, but we were just talking about stuff. This is the next episode of Analysts After Work. Welcome if you're joining on the YouTubes. I think I put it to it's Facebook for some. I'm just trying some stuff out. Or if you're on my website, because I'm trying that out too. With me this week, I'm trying to be, dude. I'm trying to be everywhere, but I'm just experimenting with like embedding in my website. Anyways, nobody wants to hear this. Everybody wants to hear from the two gentlemen that are joining me today. Fabricio Laguna, all the way from Sao Paulo, Brazil. And Jared Garay from sunny Calgary, Alberta. Welcome, gentlemen.
Thanks, Vince. It's great to be back. I know the first time I was here we had so much fun. It was I'm glad that Fabrizio's joining us. It's going to be an awesome time. I'm looking forward to this.
I'm excited. It's my first time here, and I'm already enjoying. And very, very good company I have today.
Well, and because it's your first time here, I put you in the top, and Jared's at the bottom. So right. You're in equal footing.
I thought that's because Jared was supporting every chapter of
I'm holding you both up.
All right. Well, Jared, you know how this works, but we'll start with you, Fabricio. What are you drinking today? What do you got?
Yes, I knew that I had to drink something, so this is cashew juice.
Oh,
yes. I knew I had to bring something Brazilian. So, and I brought also some nuts, like cashew nuts. Brazilian nuts.
Look at
this. Some peanuts. Right.
Look at this.
This is a bar, isn't it?
Instantly bringing class to the show. This is incredible. Incredible.
Off then, Vince.
Yeah, you're making me look bad. Jared. Well, so before I go to you, Jared, I'm going to say I also had the idea of classing it up. I had a bowl of honey roasted peanuts, and they did not survive the pre-show. So, because once they're there, you pick at them, and then they're gone. So, kudos to you, Jared. What are you representing with today?
So first I want to preface this. I have the day off, okay? So I'm not at work today. So you might think this is water, but I'm actually drinking gin and tonic today. So I thought I'd spruce it up a little bit, get a little bit more upper class, and gin and tonic it is.
That's a good one. I still have not done the gin and tonic. A couple years ago, I decided I needed a mature drink for when I go to like bars and stuff. I needed something classy, and I did settle on the gin and tonic because it's classy, but it's still very, very tasty. So good call.
Very refreshing, actually.
Yeah,
So is a gin and tonic? Is that a drink for poo-poos or no?
We'll get into the poo-poos in a second because I have I am representing. Well, I've got my glass here. But I'm representing Ernest Ciders.
Oh, wow.
This is a lovely Ontario cider, Ruby cider, which is infused with cranberry and cherry. So it is, hence the pinkish hue. But it's delightful. So, anyways, gentlemen, cheers.
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 So, Jared, what's been going on since the last time you were on? I think it's been a couple months, hasn't it?
I was on episode 6, and this is what, 16? Ooh. So 10 episodes ago?
16, yeah. Wow, and I've only been doing them like every 2 weeks, so that's like almost 6 months.
It's been a while. But Vince, I mean, you and I have talked a number of times since then, right?
Yeah.
The really early Friday morning call with the Belgian crew.
Yes.
It's always fun. We are trying to stay more connected with our community than ever before. So I do a lot of these types of calls where we just talk, right? Mm-hmm. What's going on, whatnot. And Lori Silverman, which I know you know, said to me right at the beginning of the pandemic, and I kind of glommed on it, but the social distancing thing that we're talking about is absolutely the worst possible name for it. We shouldn't be socially distancing. We should be physically distancing and socially connected. And that's what I really like about being here, right? So
Right.
I've been doing all sorts of these types of calls with people from around the world, and I love it. It's fantastic.
I was chatting with Fabrizio before we came on, and I said the same thing, right? Like, I started this because I missed all the people that we normally see at events, and it was just a way of like keeping in touch. And then after about 10 episodes, I got tired, and I'm like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. And people actually said, "Hey, when are you doing the next episode?" And so I was like, "Oh, okay, I guess I gotta." And it's so, I mean, jokingly, it created an obligation for me to bring on wonderful guests every 2 weeks or every week or whatever,
And us too,
and you guys too. But it's been a way to stay, because you're right. It's not about social distancing; it's physical distancing. It's just we have to stay apart, but we can still be together. Isn't that a beautiful? That's a beautiful thing. And I mean, to be able to bring on an international man of mystery, because this is my initial meeting with Fabrizio. Like, he's a name that I've known, but I'm like, we got to figure out what we're going to talk about, because I'm going to go through just the stereotypical things like football, dancing, and that's about it. And I mean, I sort of became aware of you more in the video that you did with Bob, the duet. And I'm jealous, but also because he's been trying to get me to sing for years, and I've been resisting. So how did that come together?
I have met Bob at the BBC, and I have been at the BBC since 2012, and I just missed one since all those times. So this year is gonna be my eighth BBC, and we have met in the BBC, and we became friends. And it was always good to embrace Bob. He's very gentle, very kind, very humanistic, and he always sing. And
great hugger too.
Yeah, great hugger. Yes, I'm missing his hug this year because we're going virtual. So this is huge. And I met him last time in Iowa in IIBA from the Iowa chapters, the BA day of and I was speaking there, and I met Bob again. I said, "Oh, Bob, we must sing together." And he asked, "But do you sing?" Yes, I sing. "Oh, sing me a little bit." And I did a small sing of "The Girl from Ipanema," and he said, "Oh, that's the one. That's what we are going to sing."
Right.
And I said, "Oh, let's sing together in the next BBC." But he didn't participate last BBC. He wasn't there. So when I saw his message about the sing your life and that he was sick, and I sent him a message, and they said, "Oh, we must sing. That's your message. Let's make this really happen." And I made my part of the song, sent to him. He makes the part, and I edited. And it's a beautiful song. We sung "The Girl from Ipanema."
It was beautiful. Like I'm very, very confident saying that it was beautiful to watch you two gentlemen singing.
Okay, I gotta find this now because I haven't seen it.
It's really good. I didn't realize you recorded them separately. I just figured you guys were together.
It's hard to record the music at the same time because of the delays of the internet. So very cool. I saved the whole song and kept the space for him to enter. Then he sent me his piece, and I put it all together. It's in my channel. You can find there the Brazilian BA on YouTube, Jared, or in the channel of Bob. It's also there.
Okay, I will find it.
Yeah, that's where I saw it on Bob's channel. So I've been, I've talked about how I am able to sing. I have been classically trained.
Oh yeah.
But it's such a sore spot for me that like I can't do it in public, but yet because of what he's got going on, I'm almost feel so I just keep saying I've been described as the songbird of our generation. I can sing, I just choose not to. So
Maybe it's because you had those lessons. I never had one. I'm not really a good singer.
yeah,
I learned to play by myself. I had never had a class, and I play guitar. I do sing well, but maybe it's not a great deal to be perfect. And
it's
when
not.
you are supposed to do something right because you studied or something like that, you create blockers in your mind that I'm not to do that very well.
Maybe.
You must lose those.
Maybe. All right, so let's this is going to turn into therapy then, because I probably do need to get past my own hangups.
You sing until the end of the show tonight.
Yeah, we've got another like 50 minutes. Maybe you'll have me singing. We'll see.
Oh, no, this one maybe.
Maybe this will have me singing. We'll see. So Jared, you already mentioned it, but a conversation between us without the word poo-poos just wouldn't be proper.
Isn't a conversation with us?
It's just not a conversation. So
interesting. Before
yeah.
you go there, Vince, Fabrizio isn't in on this, and that's actually the best part about throwing the word poo-poos into a conversation is that you and I are. It's kind of like our inside joke, right?
Yeah.
So poo-poos is a Hawaiian word for appetizers. So when Vince and I were in Honolulu, we went with the chapter there for poo-poos, and we just could not stop laughing every time we heard it.
Poo-poos.
It doesn't sound like the most appropriate word, does it?
No, and so yeah, it's just obviously for the actual the other connotations of the word, it just became a humorous thing for us, and you know what, it was cool. Poo-poos aside, let's put all our poo-poos out of the way. That trip was cool because I think that was the first time we really sort of hung out, which was awesome. And then to find out we're staying at the same hotel, and we have the same time off, and it was very cool. It was very cool.
And I introduced you to the concept of Uber that trip.
Yes, and I've been using Uber ever since. Thank you so much, Uber. When you're traveling, Uber. Amazing. Poo-poos and drinks. Well, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've been a little bit. Fabricio's got his poo-poos right now. I've been a little bit down today, because I gotta share something. This is the first time in like 6 months that I'm not wearing shorts. I am in jogging pants today, and that is depressing. It's dawning on me that it's fall. We've had a good 6 months, but I am in jogging pants today, and if you want to, I will stand up and show you. But I'm going to ask that you trust me that I am wearing jogging pants today. What is going on in your worlds right now? Because as things are getting back to normal, and Fabricio, I know your situation in Brazil is very different with the pandemic, but what is going on? What are you doing to stay normal, and what are the things that you're noticing are starting to sort of sneak into life?
Well, today is the first day in months that I turned my air conditioner on. So it's getting colder to you. It's getting hotter for me.
Okay.
We're in opposite sides, right? And here in Brazil, the situation with COVID is very disturbing. There's a lot of people dying, we are almost like US, not exactly like, because I believe there's more people dying in US. But
Yeah.
last weekend we also have a holiday on Monday here.
Mhm.
Our last Monday was Independence Day in Brazil,
Okay.
and people didn't stay in home anymore. They can't be at home anymore. So the beaches were beaches is where the sea is. I may be spelling wrong, but the beaches were full of people. And
Mhm.
let's wait for 15 days and see what happens. But
Oh.
everybody was in the streets.
Why do you think that is? Like, I know maybe it's just a Canadian perspective of like we just sort of do what we're told. You want us to stay home, fine. Like, yeah, we'll stay home. But then there's still always those people, but they're in, at least from my perspective, they're in the minority. They're like the 1% that doesn't like to be told what to do. But that, like, and I have to preface this with, I have a political science background. I've been fascinated politically with everything that's been going on in the world, at home and abroad. Why is it that some countries just had a much harder time convincing people to do the short-term painful thing for the long-term positive thing? And this is like, do we need more business analysts in government advising people on what is the right thing to do? Because yeah, I don't like being told what to do, but I also don't want to contract a disease and die. So like, what do you like? What do you think? Do we need more? Do we need more BAs in government?
We need more BAs in everywhere. We need everybody to be a BA. We need everybody to understand the real problems they're facing, and trying to understand there are multiple alternatives and find the best one. Anyone should do that. Anyone should be a
Right.
BA. But actually, we had a problem in Brazil, similar, I believe, to the US, that our government was not with that clear message that you told. Let's stay home. Let's face a short problem and don't make it harder. And our president was not with that idea. He was worried about economics. And if everybody stayed at home, it will bring a real problem to economics. So let's face that this disease is not that bad. It's just a little flu. He actually
Sure.
spoke that. And in Brazil, we are not so, how I would say, like you Canadians are disciplined. Disciplined.
Okay.
Is that a word?
You could have gone a very dangerous path that way. I was getting ready to fight, but yes, we are very disciplined.
Yes, we're not.
Except for the hockey rink.
We're terrible on that.
Well,
Yeah. And I admire that. I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's very nice. And other thing, I believe you Canadians have a sense of citizen that you must respect the other people. So if the fact that you are young and you go and take the disease will not make you very evil because you're not in a dangerous group, but you think that can harm other people. So
yeah.
you sympathize with those, and you try not to do. And
Yeah.
we're more egoistic as a culture.
Yeah.
I'm not generalizing everybody's is that, but
No, and never, right? Like, and even to generalize that
culturally,
everybody. Yeah. I mean, I think you're right. I try to sort of be empathetic to other people. My fear, because at the time, like when things were first starting to shut down, I still had a couple trips planned, and like, but my fear was always, it was never that like I was going to get it. It was that I was going to get it and bring it home, and that terrified me. So that, like, me, I'm not worried about, but it's bringing it home and then being responsible for someone else being in pain, that would have bothered me. So I was glad when things sort of shut down, because even, I mean, and Jared, that people in Toronto think that we're the center of the universe. Yeah. And it is true, but we also are aware of the surrounding rings of our universal center, the Toronto-centric theory of the universe.
I mean, the rest of Canada jokingly does call you the center of the known universe, right?
Yes.
But having been to Toronto so many times for meetings and whatnot, I kind of get it. I mean, Greater Toronto, I mean, it's not a Mexico City or probably one of the cities in Brazil, but 6 million people. Like, that's more than my entire province. And you're so close that when something happens in Toronto, the whole country, it affects the whole country. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, look, it is, for a North American city, it is, one of the, it's, I think, third largest after New York and LA. It's not,
including Mexico City.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. So in Canada, US, it's third, but yeah, Mexico City is huge. But when you think about like the European cities, and I think it's a different dynamic there, right? Where it's everybody moves to the city, and then the towns are for, we were talking before, and I said that my in-laws are in a town in Spain that has 2,500 people, like where everybody knows everybody's business. Everybody knows who. Like, I remember my first time going to the town and seeing like these people that would like poke out the window of like, here's my car. And they would be like, who's that guy? And like, I asked my wife, and she's like, they're trying to figure out whose kid you are, because they don't know who you are. They're trying to figure out who you are.
Who's the stranger?
And who's the stranger? Because why would a stranger come to our town? And so, you find out that you end up getting nicknames, and hopefully you get one that's more positive, because there's some really bad nicknames in that town. But and I'll tell you guys off air what some of them are. But like the city is what attracts people, whereas I think in Canada, you've got your big cities, but there's still cities around it that you sort of identify as. And so I'm close enough to Toronto, but I'm also not really from Toronto, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So we have empathy, Jared. We're nice people here.
Try to be.
Come on, man. Cut us some slack.
As I said, Vince, I do cut you slack. I get it, right?
Yeah.
And I think there's a little bit of jealousy from the rest of the country, because it's interesting. I mean, from a political standpoint, we hear 200 people get laid off in the auto industry, and the entire country is, oh my God, Toronto is hurting, and we need to do something about it. Whereas you get 100,000 people in the oil patch get laid off, and well, Alberta should know better. So we kind of get treated as the ugly stepchild, if you will, the ugly baby. How's that for a?
Hey, good segue. Ugly baby.
I've heard about that, but I didn't catch it. I saw that you were going to speak, and that's the title of her speaking on BBC or something like that.
Not a BBC. At oh my God, where am I doing that? At the Austin VA Day at Austin Bad. So actually, next Friday, I'm going to be talking about ugly babies, and I'm not going to give away what an ugly baby is, but
you're not.
I can't. Well, you know what? I can. It's fine. There's only a few people on right now, so
I don't know.
It's all good. It's fine. An ugly baby is those things that happen in work that everybody privately acknowledges is a problem, but publicly they refuse to speak out on. And so I use this clip from Seinfeld of the ugly baby. Like, you gotta see the baby, and like they go and see the baby, and they go, ooh, ooh, ooh. but nobody will tell these parents that their baby is ugly. And so like this is what happens when you grow up watching The Simpsons and Seinfeld. You just it informs so much of my humor. So if only we would acknowledge the ugly babies, then we can do something about it. Because pretending that it doesn't exist, or saying, yeah, that's a great idea, we should and then complaining about it after, doesn't help anything. It actually makes things worse, and it costs a lot of money. It's a lot of waste.
That's a great concept. I love it. I
Thank you.
love it. Right. Kudos.
And yet they keep rejecting it at BBC.
Nobody wants to hear that the baby's ugly.
Well, it's I mean, the description is intentionally vague. Like, I don't want to give away what it is, but it's a very useful concept. And it's just, I dream of the day where people are talking about ugly babies and like, we've got a lot of ugly babies at work and we need to do something about it.
Yesterday we had a chat of my chapter here. In Brazil, we do weekly YouTube lives like this one.
Yeah, but not with alcohol, right?
No, not with alcohol. We are nerds. We just talk about business analysis.
Well done, Judy.
Yeah, there you go, Judy.
And yesterday, we always invite someone, and there's a group of people that's still making is always making questions and comments, and there's a different invited guest. And the guest yesterday was talking about business agility and how they are doing the stuffs in his company, and he told us about a very nice concept that he implemented in his company. Is that they asked the employees which project they want to get in. They didn't impose the projects for workers, like, oh, you are a developer, you're going to do this job. And sometimes people get this problem. They get the job imposed because they are good on something, and that's all he will do for the rest of his life, just because he's good. So it's kind of they're being punished for being good, right?
Yeah.
And someone asked, but what if no one wants to go to some projects? If everybody wants to go to one project and no one wants to go to some project, and I don't know, kids, and that raised a question: why do no one wants to go to that project? That's another baby. That project is another baby. That discussion must happens between the company. Does that project worth? Is that project something that we must invest our money on, or is that something wrong? Why everybody wants to that beautiful baby? What's beautiful on that, and what's ugly on that other one? And so let's bring those conversations up.
Right, and that's like I that's a lot of the sort of the subject that I've been talking about, which is like strategic business analysis, enterprise analysis, and like, how does a project like that even get approved? Right? Like, why are we even having a conversation if nobody wants to support it, if nobody wants to work on it, if nobody wants to be involved with it? Why that? I mean, yes, you definitely have an ugly baby. And so, again, because we've only got the usual suspects here, Judy, Mohammed, Danelkis. Like, one of the things that causes ugly babies is politics. And it's that is probably some executive's pet project idea that they got on the strategic roadmap, but actually doesn't help the organization or the customers or whoever. And so you end up in a place where you're spending a lot of time and money on things that don't matter.
Vince, I think BAs have a huge role to play in this. And I know I've seen your presentation on ugly babies in Vancouver, I thought it was. And I think BAs need to take more of a leadership role. And when they see the ugly baby, but they need to throw the baby out. Like,
I'll even go a step further because I know that you're not setting me up because but so I've been working on a training program for BAs to get into leadership, and actually we talked about that, and I'm doing that practitioner chat at BBC. The problem isn't that BAs need to step up and kill those projects. The problem is, and Fabrizio said this earlier, we need BAs making the decisions. Like, they have to be the leaders, because as a business analyst, you only have so much authority and so much power. But as an executive, as leadership, you can say, using your BA lens, this project doesn't add value. It needs to go.
There's two different facets to that, though. There is absolutely this project should never get off the into the starting blocks to begin with. And then there's also the fact that things have changed. This project is no longer viable. We shouldn't continue with it. We should shut it down right here and there. That's what I was referring to. So you're absolutely right.
Absolutely. But I mean that's understanding sort of. No, go ahead. Sorry.
Sorry. There is nothing.
So
more
that's under. We can't always do this.
Let's go get a drink. No, but there's nothing more.
What's going on here?
I don't know. There's nothing more fulfilling for me as a strategic BA to add a project. Say this one has to stop. It's done, because shutting it down is actually a sense of pride to me, because if it doesn't provide value, why do we do it? Why bother? Sorry, I'll get off my soapbox.
I agree with you. The challenge though is with leadership and the sunk cost fallacy. Like, we've already invested $1 million in this project. We can't stop it now. So let's give it another $1 million and hope that. So, like, yes, it should be a point of pride to be able to shut down a project. But unless you're the one making that decision, you have to make a really
Oh, Vince, is your internet not working so well?
Yes. Vince,
I thought it was me originally, but Fabrizio, you and I are still.
Yes, we are still alive. I don't know what people
are we still live?
YouTube are seeing
out of this, because he looks quite comical.
I don't know what YouTube is getting, because we are probably being sent to YouTube by Vince's machine, and if Vince's connection is bad,
but we must be connected through YouTube and not through Vince's internet connection, obviously.
No, I'm on high speed, man. Come on.
So you were.
Don't seem so.
It's all. I was on a rant, and we broke the internet. It's fine. We broke it because everyone knows that what we're saying is right.
Yes, everybody came to the show.
I think every BA agrees with you, though.
Yeah. It's funny. This, we're about halfway through. This episode already has the most business actual work discussion of any episode.
Is that a good thing or a bad thing?
I'm not sure. But it doesn't matter. It's the whole concept behind this is the things that you would talk about after work if you went out with friends.
Yeah.
So of course you're gonna have some work conversation, but
yes, I'm a nerd.
No, it's fine.
Sorry.
It's fine. I mean, there's got to be nothing else to do in Sao Paulo, right? It's just boring. It's boring.
Football.
Yeah, we can go to the kitchen or the living room. But today I'm planning to go to the bathroom.
This is an excellent plan.
Let me give two words about the last conversation about the projects or the ugly babies. And there are 2 points I would like to add on that. The first one is when you have the role of a BA and you have no authority to kill a project, but you see that the project must be killed. And what I usually advise people to do in that situation is to create what I'm going to try to translate that and SGH report. It's a shit's gonna happen report, right? So you must put that on paper and you must make clear what shit's going to be happen if that project goes on. Shows where the project should be going to, what were the business objectives of that project, and where is it going to, and what results. Yes, SGA report, perfect. Yes.
I love it.
Yes. And make a clear statement that so you can convince the executives of your company that that project must be killed. That's what the role of a BA should do. and what he can do, because the decisions are not up to him. But the second part of this question is just what you said. We need more executives, BAs, and
Yes.
I believe there is a dislink in IIBA. So that's a message for Jared and everybody in IIBA. A dislink in IIBA's message, because IIBA was created as the business analyst professional organization. So let's make the business analyst professional be known and recognized all over the world. And when you say a business analyst profession, you instantly think as a role and not as a discipline or as an ability. And business analysis should be a mindset, should be something that should be taught for managers, for developers, for system analysts, for business architects, for everyone, or every position that's working with projects or working in change should be a business analyst, independently of the role. And I don't see that change of speak very clear. I don't know how we can do that, Jared. I think it's a huge
So Fabrizio, I think we are working on that, because we're finding it is less and less about the title of business analyst and more about the discipline and the profession of business analysis. I had an interesting talk in one of the cities I was in last year about business analysis, and someone came to me and said, "Well, I don't do business analysis. I'm not a business analyst." I'm like, everyone does business analysis. No, not me. And I'm like, well, have you ever been to a grocery store? I need eggs, milk, whatever. That's part of business analysis. What do I need? What are my options? How am I going to solve this? What's my problem? I mean, that's business analysis in a nutshell. A cashew shell for you, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes. It is mindset. And I think and Jared, I know you and I have chatted about this months back. It's about forcing people to feel uncomfortable, and that's the thing that keeps them, because they're really good BAs, so they don't want to step outside of that comfort zone, but that's where they're really going to grow, and they need to we need people that can step into leadership roles. And it's not like you don't have to be the president of your company or the CEO or whatever, but
leadership isn't
decision making. It's about decision making, where you can have the ability to influence and with authority. Because influence without authority, we keep hiding behind that. Like, you need in some organization, like I work in the government, man. Like, position and title is everything. So I can only influence so much without authority. I can, because I've built up enough sort of credibility and experience. But if you have the title, you can say whatever and it happens.
So Vince, I gotta debate you on that, because position does not mean leadership. Right?
1,000%. There's no debate. I'm with you.
Okay.
And yet you have people that are managers, fine, but they are still in a position where they can make decisions, where they can drive the conversation a particular way. And yes, I agree with you. They're not leaders.
But a good BA has that power of influence and can actually influence those decisions to go in the direction that they want to. Julian Sammy, which I think you might know, used to work at IIBA, once told me, he says that another word for BA should be like a con man, because we use our powers of influence to draw out, to elicit things that people may not even know they're not even aware of. Right? When we're talking about we have a lot more influence than we want to believe, and we tend to hang back and not exercise it to its fullest.
But it's not con man; it's influencer. Then, like,
con man is just a bad connotation. But at the end of the day,
a super bad connotation
that may not want to give.
Fair enough. But it's about that influencer. Like Mohammed here's got a right. It's about being a trusted advisor, right? But at a point, people may not listen to their advice. And so by having more people actually driving those conversations and driving the decisions, that, without having to rely on the advice of someone else, I think that's where I think there's a real opportunity there for us to grow professionally into, I look at some of the accounting organizations, like their career path leads to CFO, like to a chief financial officer, right? We need a chief BA officer, right? But we need to get the organizations to buy into that concept first.
Agreed. And I think a lot of that is professionalizing what we do. There are a lot of BAs that unfortunately may or may not be all that good of an advertisement for the BA practice.
I agree. I mean, some BA and not. Let me make this very clear: not IIBA members, but people that had the title of business analyst. For all those that are listening at home, they were just glorified note takers, and that is a disservice to what we do. And I think that's the problem. Is you have people that are stepping into roles with the title of BA, but not doing the work of a business, like not adding the true value that that we add.
Exactly. I've heard of one example where a junior BA tried to position himself as a seasoned veteran and whatnot, made some recommendations and lost the company a ton of money. And then the CEO said, "We're done with BAs," fired all the BAs, the entire company.
Right. Like that doesn't right. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That is the problem. And so
it's up to us, Vince. It's up to the seasoned, the grizzled veterans or whatnot to bring those others under our wing and to help them along, because we can't let that brush paint everybody.
Cheers to that, my friend.
Yeah, I know I'm speaking to the choir.
You're preaching to the choir, man. And that's the thing. It's we need to be we need to have those grizzled vets be more vocal about this, because it has to happen. It has to happen, and somebody's got to do it. So, in the absence of nobody doing it, we can be the idiots that do it.
There you go. Challenge accepted, my friend. Challenge
accepted.
I have a nice story that happened today. Today, I received a message on LinkedIn of a guy that saw one of my videos on YouTube, and he said, "Oh, I am a developer, and I want to change my career to business analysis, and I wanted to give some tips. How can I find this position available? I have no experience as a business analyst. All my experience is as a developer, but I want to change my career to that path." And my answer to him is, don't wait to be in the role of a business analyst to do business analysis. Start doing business analysis right now. Stop doing code just because it was written that you should do the code. Right. Ask for what's the business value of that, and look for alternative ways to make that business value greater, and start to question. The opportunities will step up. They will appear naturally if you are working as a business analyst. So be a business analyst first, get the job later.
Yeah,
absolutely, Fabrizio.
Yeah,
well said.
Yeah, and I think you said it earlier, right? Like everybody does business analysis. I think you both have said it at various points. Everybody does it, and so everyone should go through some sort of, even just like an introductory training, like a just intro to business analysis course. Everyone should do that. Almost similar to like what Jack Welch did at GE with Six Sigma in the 80s and 90s, where he mandated everybody that wants to be in a leadership position in GE needs to have their Six Sigma, I think it was black belt.
Is this the time that I sell my course online?
Sorry?
Is this the time that I should sell my course online?
No, because I'm actively preparing to sell my course. What course do you have to sell? What do you want to sell?
BA Book Guide Business Analysis on the Udemy platform. If you go to thebrazilianba.com, there's a link on the bottom. You can see the course there. It's very cheap. And other day, someone said, "Oh, which course should I do? Should I do your business analysis course, or should I do Vince that's preparing a very nice business analysis course?" And my answer was, "Yes, this is the link."
Hey,
you like that quote, Vince? I said, a business analysis course is like a great movie of Spider-Man. You may have seen one. You already know the story, but it's always nice.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
always going to love it.
Yeah.
So make them all, right?
Yeah.
You always learn something new.
What and your course is like for new business analysts trying to get into the space, or who's your target? Who do you want?
I'm targeting people that wants to know the BA Book Guide. It presents the BA Book Guide as a whole, and pass from the main techniques on the guide and give some tips. So it's a funny course, not long. It will take about 6.5 hours to watch all the videos online. There are some exercises. It's funny. It tries to make the learning of business analysis funny. That's the point. And it serves for new ones or for old ones that wants to get the concepts more arranged in a formal way.
That's beautiful. And I'm happy to promote it because there's no competition. Because a lot of my courses either are for Six Sigma. I've got a yellow belt at lovetheprocess.academy. Or I've got, or this is like shameless now. Or I've got I'm actually in the process of putting together a course on creative and critical thinking. There's a course on enterprise analysis, strategic business analysis. There's a course that I'm putting together on requirements management, like very sort of aimed more at the folks that are either in the job already and want to be better, or so. I'm happy to promote your stuff. Let's throw it back up there. TheBrazilianBA.com. Go to, and I get nothing for this. We literally just met like 45 minutes ago. Go to this site and take Fabrizio's course. Like, come on, man.
So I'm waiting for one of you to say, but wait, there's more. If you order within the next 10 minutes, I'll throw in free shipping and a set of steak knives.
Well, it's a digital course, so yeah, free shipping is available at my course. It's all digital. Lovetheprocess.academy. If you go there, it's all there, and I mean, I was having this conversation with another of the grizzled vets in our field, and it's because I have my day job. Like I have my courses. I'm charging something for them, but I actually don't care if anybody signs up or not, because it's like I just did it for fun. So because I had a great time making the content, and like you, Fabricio, it's just I tried to make the kind of course that like I would have wanted to take, because I did my CBAP boot camp, and it was through no fault of the trainer. It was just dry and it was boring, and it doesn't have to be. Right? So if you can learn the same content in a way that is enjoyable, where you aren't miserable, that's a win-win.
For sure. So Judy's offering
and free poo-poos at the next sign up today for either the Brazilian BA's CBAP prep course or anything at lovetheprocess.academy, including my yellow belt certification, and you'll get free poo-poos the next time we meet.
That's awesome.
Amazing. Oh my God. Oh, this took a turn that I did not expect. Generally, I don't get so salesy in my my thing, but That's awesome. And you said it's on the Udemy platform?
Udemy platform,
Okay.
and I have made a new version now for the same course in a platform, an Indian platform called Graphy. It's a platform to be watched in the phone, and you should be watching it portrait and not landscape. So I'm converting my content for a new platform. It's nice.
There we go. Well, maybe we need to talk then, because I've loved the process.academy can always host extra courses, so we should talk.
For sure.
We're just bringing the world together. Like that's what this is, bringing the grizzled vets together. And eventually, they're all gonna gang up.
My courses on Udemy have already 49 people from 49 different countries.
Amazing.
I'm amazed. I think that's so cool.
Fabricio, are those courses in English or Portuguese?
I do have the courses in Portuguese, and I have one course in English since the beginning of this pandemic.
Gotcha.
Yes, one course in English. This is BA Book Guide Business Analysis in English. And I have the same course in Portuguese, and I have two other courses in Portuguese.
Fantastic. Amazing. Man, I wish I could speak Portuguese.
Oh, é bonito.
Sim. It's the one word I know in Portuguese. Oh, that's awesome. All right. Well, now, Jared, do you have anything you want to sell?
No, I have nothing.
Just
all right.
No,
so Jared,
just the concept of business analysis in general, which is why I'm here. So,
well, you're also here because we're buddies, and like,
well, that's true too.
I mean, come on, man. Like, it's not just about promoting your work stuff. Like, come on.
Nope.
Oh my God. I can't imagine what the people watching this are thinking. these two dueling sales people, these dueling con men at the top here,
and I'm holding you up,
and you guys are holding, and we're being supported by the IIBA.
Yes.
That's awesome. All right, so what comes next? I mean, we've talked about a bunch of stuff. What comes next? Are you working on anything new? Either of you, working on anything new to close out the year?
So, Vince, with all of our conferences going virtual, traveling around the world virtually.
Yeah.
The fall is full of, especially chapter events, but we've got another one at BBC, which of course I know you're both going to be presenting at.
Yeah.
So we've got BBC coming up. We've got a whole slew of international chapter events. Wow. Third and fourth quarter are going to be way too busy. Actually, they are way too busy. I'll just say that. So, yeah.
Yeah, I've got 3 events in the next 2 weeks, which is unusual. And I wouldn't have been able to do it if I had to travel.
Agreed.
And unfortunately, I mean, it's places that I would have loved to have traveled to, but just, so like Austin, Phoenix, and Columbia, South Carolina. Like, never been there. I would have loved to have gone, but just didn't work out. So, yeah. How about you, Fabricio? What are you up to in the next 3 months, 3-4 months?
I have this feeling that we are in so many lives on internet that we have no time to live. Does that make sense?
That's beautiful. That's a beautiful sentiment. Continue.
It's becoming hard to choose what to be on, because before you choose it what you could be on. That was what was happening close to you. Now you have events everywhere, and nice events, and with nice people speaking, and all around the world, and they are all available for you. And it's harder to choose what to go. I believe it's harder for those events that are trying to sell tickets, because there are a lot of content available online.
Yeah.
like the content we are doing right now, that's free for a charge, and everybody can participate.
Free
So-
for now. There's gonna be a subscription starting next week.
Part of it, and if you buy his course, you get the subscription for free.
If you buy the course, available at lovetheprocess.academy, and but that's, I mean, I think you're right. I mean, that's one of the cool things I find with, and I keep saying this, but with the grizzled vets, like a lot of us do. I look at folks like, you've got your YouTube channel, a lot of the stuff that like Adrian Reed is doing, the Bob's Sing Your Life, like it's just giving stuff away for free, but it's good, like it's high quality stuff outside of this show. It's good high quality stuff that is of real value, and it's just like it's available, and I think a lot of conferences are, I think you're going to get a lot of saturation. Like I almost feel like I probably won't do any speaking next year because I will have spoken at all the events this year and they will be tired of me, which is possible.
No,
But
it's not possible that they will like and they will.
I am delightful.
Yeah, that's the secret.
Who wouldn't want this like spry smile at their event?
So Vince, I have a question for you on that. Because
Yes.
last year when you were traveling, you could have 2 or 3 presentations and go to like 20 different spots.
Yeah.
Now that you don't have travel, and that the rest of the world can see you in Austin one day, Phoenix the next day, and Palmetto the next day, you obviously have to have more than those 2 or 3 sessions in your back pocket. So how, like, I think by 2021, most of the speakers are going to be out of content.
I think that then makes them not very good at what they do. Like content is everywhere. Like
so the amount of work that goes through to create a presentation, though. I mean, you can't be in 3 different places at once with 3 original.
No, but so what I try. I mean, so I'll speak for myself. What I try to do is every year I try to create, 1 or 2, like 1 new keynote, 1 new talk, like track session, and 1 new workshop, and then like I add that into the rotation because I try not to repeat stuff. So like last year when we were in Hawaii, I did creating a culture of continuous improvement, a tragedy in 3 acts, which was sort of my Shakespearean take on losing a battle to build a culture of continuous improvement. I will never do that in Hawaii again, but I will do that somewhere else, right? So now I also have talks at this point that I've retired because I'm just tired of doing them. Like my first ever talk was called the stakeholder lineup, and it was like I had this idea of like the usual suspects, and then it morphed into the 6 stakeholders you meet in Project Hell, which was turning stakeholder management into like melding it with Dante's Inferno. I don't want to do that one anymore. It's not sort of where my focus is. So I just put that one aside. But then there's other things that keep fresh. So like, I'm doing this year to close out. I probably have about 5 or 6 different track sessions that I'm doing, 2 different keynotes, and a couple different workshops. And it's just so, it's not like I need to create something new every year. I just have to make sure that I don't do it in the same market ever again, because that I don't want to do. I don't want to become stale.
But because most of this year will have been virtual market. Yeah. Most of the content has already been out there at some point.
No, so I've customized it for a virtual, and right, like there's things that I can do and that I can't do in a virtual context, that really differentiates some of the talk. Like, I mean, if you want to hear my Seinfeld impersonation, well, you have to come to Ugly Babies, but it doesn't work in a virtual. It just comes across really, what's the deal with that? Like, it just doesn't work. So I'm not going to do, so it's different. There's also, like, I'm doing a new keynote in Phoenix with the Bad in the Desert next Wednesday. It will be very different when it's done live, because I'll have people it's on the subject of fighting through your fear and not letting fear hold you back. I can only do so much when it's me to hear, versus I've got 100 people, 200 people, whatever, in a room, and now I can actually engage with you and talk to you and actually hammer the idea home. So it's a different experience.
Absolutely.
It's a different platform.
Yeah, it's a different platform.
BBC, it was so fun. The presentation, I created a music, and everybody was singing, and that was a project that we were evolving that music. And in the last edition of the music, there was a dance, and so everybody standing and dancing in the room. It was so fun. It's not possible online.
Right.
That's something won't happen.
No.
You have to use other tools like Kahoots, like pools for people to engage, or something else. It's a different platform. It's a different way to speak.
Yeah, and I'm sure that's the kind of thing that people would want to come back to, whether they've been there or not. Like the opportunity to sing and dance with you again is, they probably would want to.
Yeah.
But I look at this situation as a content rich period for us, because we have so much more that we like. How do you facilitate workshops virtually? How do you manage teams across time zones? How do you overcome the loneliness of working from home? Like, there's so much that we can build out of this experience. If people don't come out of this with, if like us speakers and whatever don't come out of this with something to talk about, then that's not great.
Agreed. Yeah. I know I have one friend who works in the real estate division of a large corporation, and they have 6 buildings currently, but with everyone moving remotely, he's now looking at analysis on how we can pare down. Do we even need one? Right. So
right.
I would love to be doing that analysis. It's so interesting.
Right. It's I mean, I'm in a building that is 30 floors. We own the building, but we use, about 25 floors. We may not even need 2 or 3 in the new world, right? When we eventually do go back to work. So, that is an opportunity, because now you can lease that space out. The challenge will be, you're not in a vacuum. And so other companies are also feeling that same, well, why do I need physical space? So you're not necessarily going to get the same rate for a lease that you would have 8 months ago, right? But this is where we are. Hey,
great.
So,
gentlemen,
we have blown past the hour.
Holy crap!
Yeah. But I don't want to just say, okay, show's over. So Jared, why don't we go to you first? And because you've done this before, any last minute thoughts or any messages that you want to give for the world and the folks that are watching?
So first of all, thank you, Vince. Thank you, Fabrizio. This was fun. That's why I asked to come back, because I had so much fun the first time. You know what? It's at the end of the day, stay connected, and and analysis is the wave of the future. And I think we talked about that today. Yeah.
Awesome. And you, Fabrizio, as you share what your last minute thoughts are, I'll just throw this up there as well.
That's good. And it was a huge pleasure to be here, and a huge pleasure to meet you better, Vince. We just changed a few notes, but you were very handsome and very
Oh,
gentle.
jeez.
Yes,
Well,
you're a nice guy.
You know, it's thank you.
Jared's already a good friend from some time. We have met together sometimes at the BBC, and it was so pleasant for me. The last thought I want to let with something we talked about very much. Business analysis is a mindset, it's not a role. It must be in everything we do. Just that.
Amen. With that, gentlemen, I want to thank you for appearing on Analysts After Work. You are welcome back anytime. And sorry,
I want to crash one time.
Well, I mean, and you know, maybe this is a good time while we're closing to share our super secret
Not so super secret, actually.
event. Not so super secret.
No.
So we are doing a mega show. The week of, not affiliated with, but the week of BBC on the Wednesday night, special time, 9 p.m. But we are going to have
special guests.
We are going to, Jared, Danelkis, Fabricio, Bob the BA, Mindy Bohannon, Jamie Champagne, Adrian Reed. Like, it is going to be a mega Jared, when we talked about it, we said that we would limit it to 4. I went rogue and I just started inviting people. So, like, it is going to be a mega show. I don't know how we're going to manage it all, but it's going to be amazing. So I can't wait. But that is 4 episodes from now. So in my next episode, I've got Ryland Layton and Angela Wick making her debut. Well, both of them actually making their debut. So that should be interesting. That's going to be the 24th. I'm in between every 2 weeks and every 3 weeks. Every week. Every week is exhausting. I need an assistant or something. But there you go. So get ready. That mega show is happening October the 21st, 9 p.m. Eastern, 10 p.m. Brazilian time, 7 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. on the West Coast of North America. It's going to be amazing. But gentlemen, let's leave it there.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
Thanks for being on, and thanks for everyone. Mohammed, Steve, Judy, Danelkis. Thanks for everyone being on Analysts After Work. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.
Bye-bye.